A very warm good morning to everyone. Welcome to another season of Agent Session, where a virtual event dedicated to exploring the dynamic world of intelligent agents, automation, and the future of AI powered productivity. Today, I have Aeshna Jain, ma'am, who is a software engineer at Uber, and handing over the session to you, ma'am. You can carry on.
Thank you so much, Sudhanshu. Thank you so much for the introduction. So, as we all know, that this is the generation of AI, and the new next thing that is coming up that we're talking in technology is generative AI or artificial intelligence in general. So, I think it's very important for us to at least know what is happening in the market and what is the new technologies that are coming up and where the tech giants are investing so that we can understand where this tech industry will be heading in the coming years, because this is an era of evolution or change wherein we have to know everything to keep pace with everything. So one such product that today we'll be discussing about, or I'll be giving a quick demo or quick understanding as to what it is Azure AI Foundry. So it is a very interesting product. The more we go inside, the deeper we go inside, the better we learn about it. But it is a one-stop solution for you to be able to build upon it, so that you do not have to start this things from scratch, because all of us now or then, not even today, every day, every now and then, we have these ideas wherein we want to build on top of the LLMs that we already have. We cannot train LLMs from scratch, but the LLMs that are already present or generative AI models that are already present, it's the best that we can either work on top of it or use them as is. So we have multiple options that Azure AI Foundry gives us. So without further ado, let's start with the session. Let me share my screen. So sharing this window. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible. One very important thing that I learned is, in this segment wherein everything is changing, no technology is said that it will last forever. It is very important that one skill that we master is learning. So learning is a very important skill that we master. Learn, unlearn, relearn are the three things that we need to master. So to be able to learn something, it's very important we understand how do we start learning. So how do we start from scratch? So assuming that this is the first thing that we are learning today, let's start things from scratch. Let's start from Google and let's see how do we learn it. So one another important thing that I would like to say is, like, firstly we'll go to the Microsoft documents. So I had also interned at Microsoft in my third year. So it is one thing that I learned at Microsoft is they have very, very impressive documentation. So something that if you want to learn something or learn something about the Microsoft product, it's best that you go to their documentation, because it is very detailed and have answers to most of your questions. So that thing has always been very impressive about Microsoft. So speaking of that, let's start. Let's read about their documentation. So what is exactly Azure AI Foundry? So I'll first read the paragraph and then we'll be able to explain as to what it offers. Azure AI Foundry provides a unified platform for enterprise AI operations, model builders, and application development. This foundation combines production grade infrastructure with friendly interfaces, ensuring organizations can build AI applications with confidence. So one very interesting thing is this Azure AI Foundry actually, as the name Foundry suggests, it is a workshop that actually gives you the liberty to be able to experiment and use multiple AI models that are already built, to be able to train your own data set or to be able to build on top of it or use them as is. So that is something that actually helps you grow your businesses, or actually make sure that if you have an MVP that you can bring, if you have an idea, you can bring it to the MVP phase, wherein you can actually show what your idea was, and you can actually actually make a production ready workflow, or the entire product that you can actually show or pitch to people who you want to be interested in the idea. So you do not have all the time in this world to be able to train your own models from scratch and create your own LLM models, and it's best that you build on top of the already existing AI models. Now, the one very interesting questions that might arise in your mind is, built on top of which model? or how do we choose that which model is the best? Every now and then we are learning that not even countries, now organization specific models have gained popularity. So what is best for our case, for our use case? What should we use? What should we do? So no problems, no issues. We have Azure AI Foundry that will help us. So let's go and let's see. So I think let me open it in a new tab so that we come back to the documentation again. Yeah. So this is the page that we have landed to. So I have already logged in. So you might require a login. A login pop-up might come to you. So feel free to log in. So one thing that is important is when you are here. So Azure AI Foundry might give you some amount of credits or a 1 month subscription free that you want for you to be able to experiment and come to this page. For me, the credit card wasn't accepted somehow, so I wasn't able to have that 1 month's free subscription. So for you guys, it should be through. And instead of create subscription button, you'll get a new project button wherein you will have to create a project first, and then you will be able to add AI models to that project. So you will get that new, like, create new project, and once you create a new project, then you will be able to add multiple AI models wherein you are experimenting or learning about them. So we'll go further deep inside. So let's see what all this Azure AI Foundry has to offer in terms of models. Let's explore models. So the first thing says is find the right model to build your custom AI solution. So one very interesting question that we had in the initial part of understanding what Azure AI Foundry is, the first thing is that the first line only is explaining as to how we can do it. So how we can find the right model to build our custom AI solution. So as you can see, there are model leaderboard also wherein they are comparing the quality. But let me come to this a little later. First, let me show you what all models it has to offer. Usually, people might end up thinking that since it's a Microsoft product, they might give preference to their models, but that's not true. We have multiple models that are present across that are available. So we have O4 Omni model, we have GPT-4 4.1, we also had DeepSeek, we have Llama models, DeepSeek is present, DeepSeek V3, and multiple versions of all the models that are present. And we have PHI 4 or 5.4, that is Microsoft model for chat completion. So again, now the very next question after seeing multiple models is how do we choose? What is the best use case for us? It's very confusing, and people might not know a lot of things about these models since it's an ever changing world and people end up adding more models, forget models, in fact, adding versions to those models. So let's see what all capabilities do we have to be able to filter these models for our particular use case. So as you can see, these are the collections. So you can filter which companies models you might be interested in or what you might be interested in. As you can see, there are multiple versions also of a particular model. So you can filter by a particular company or by particular model so that you get all the versions for it. So let's do for something like if I'm interested in Microsoft model, so we'll be able to see 43 models here. Yes. So all of these models that are made up by Microsoft are here for me. So if we want to build upon Microsoft products, so because we are interested in it, we might be able to do it through this. So one thing is done here. So let me uncheck it so that we can explore multiple filters further. Now we have the industry. Now very, like, you might not have any preference in terms of collection, but you might have a particular use case or particular industry you want to cater to. So with that perspective also, they have filtered out or they have made a collection of models that perform better in a particular industry or that are specifically made or have a niche for that particular industry. So for example, if you have a niche for consumer goods, let's see what all models does it filter. So we have a niche for like consumer goods, that is ELY, crop protection. So like this, you will be able to filter, or probably you'll get a better idea as to wherein you want to, or which model you want to use, or which industry you probably want to work in, so that you get flexibility as to which model works best in your particular industry or your particular domain. Coming to the capabilities, so it is agent supported and assistant supported. Coming to the deployment options, that is managed compute and serverless API. So this is very interesting when it comes to deployment options. So depending upon your use case, you can choose the deployment options. So what are these two deployment options? How are they different? So one is managed compute. So what does managed compute exactly mean? Or let me tell you the use case wherein managed compute will fit better. The use case is whenever you are making anything, basically whenever you're training data on top of the LLM that is already present, basically you're building on a particular model, or you're creating a specific model for a particular niche, then in that case you use managed compute, because you might need computational power to be able to train your particular model on top of the already existing model. So for that you might need you will need managed compute, might not, but yeah, so you will need managed compute. And in the second case, that is serverless API, in that what happens is the model is already present. What you're doing is you are using one of its API to be able to make a solution, make an artificial intelligence solution, or an MVP for your particular idea or your particular enterprise solution. So in that case, you're not trading, you do not have any data, you're not training any model, or you're not making any new model, but you're just using the API or leveraging the APIs that are already present for the models that are present in the market. So this is the difference between the two. And you, for managed compute, you have different options, and for serverless API, you have different options. Coming to the next one is the inference task. What do you actually want from the model? If you want responses, embedding, speech recognition, which models performs the best in that particular space? Text translation, question answering, that is very important, like very common use case of questioning and answering is a very common use case of generative AI. Then text classification, filling mask, token classification. So all of these, like there are hundreds of options for you to be able to explore and you to be able to build solutions on top of it. So that's great place that, or great position that as your AI foundry puts you in. So that's a good problem to have, where you have multiple things that you have to choose from. You have multiple options that you'll have to choose from. Then we'll have the fine tuning task. Then I think this is pretty similar to the inference task, but in the fine tuning task, what thing that you want to fine tune to comes into this category. So this is what it is, and these are the licensing. When it comes to building enterprise solutions, there are some licenses that are important in particular countries, so you might filter in terms of licenses as well. So this is how it is. And again, this, even after going through multiple options or multiple filters, it gets confusing for you as to which model is the best for me. Then also, uh, Microsoft Azure AI Foundry comes to the rescue. We have browse leaderboards also. So let's see what does it have to offer, like what does it show us, and how does it help to make to come for help us to come to a conclusion wherein which model we should use. So in terms of quality, we have O1 that has quality index of 0.92. So these are multiple quality indexes that are offered, and these are the highlights that are shown. So this is the quality, this is the cost, this is the throughput, etc., etc. But coming again, so this is a very interesting space that I found, that is the trade-off charts. You might need a model that excels in one category but is a lower performer in other. View the trade-offs for various categories. So if you'll see, first of all, there might be use cases wherein you do not want to compare so many, but you just want to compare between the two. So what you can do is you can select between the two. This is for deselection. So the ones you do not want to select, like for let's compare GPT 4o and DeepSeek. So the rest I will click so that they get disabled. So these are the two models that I want to compare. And what does it show? This quality versus cost chart. So this is the quality on the y-axis, and this is the cost on the x-axis. So what do we want in the best case scenario? We want that the cost should be minimal and the quality should be maximum. So in that case, it also shows you that this is the most attractive quadrant that you should look, and whatever falls in this category, you should pick that. So for this GPT-4o, the cost is also very high, and the quality of the answers that it is giving is also very low. So why do you want to be in such space? So there might be a lot of biases or a lot of things that you might have heard from people or out there that might not be true. But as your AI foundry here gives you a lot of data that it has, and a lot of data that it is building right now, because people are building right now currently on Azure AI Foundry, and it is using that data to be able to determine which models are working best or performing best as per people's expectation. So you can come here and you will be able to figure out as to what model you should be able to use. And here, as you can see clearly, DeepSeek V3 is a clear choice for us. Same goes for quality versus throughput. Let's do the same. Let's use DeepSeek and GPT-4. I think DeepSeek is not here, so I think we can select. Yeah. What is the name exactly? Let me see the version also. DeepSeek V3 and GPT-4. DeepSeek, DeepSeek V3 and GPT-4. GPT-4. Yeah, you're good. And this is what we get. Is it deep sea? Okay, I think the multi-model selection is not working for me here. Let's do a reset. And DeepSeek V3. Yes, it is here. And GPT-4. So let's unselect so that it's already present at I do not want any fiasco here. So this is GPT-4o and this is DeepSeek V3. So as you can see, in this, what is the expectation here? So quality and throughput. So quality also has to be maximum and throughput also has to be maximum. So the responses that we are getting should be fast and the quality of them should be good. But as you can see, none of them lies in the most attractive quadrant for us. So DeepSeek all does give better quality but less throughput. That is, it gives responses slower. Whereas GPT-4 gives good, like faster answers, but the quality of the answers is bad. So this is how we can compare, and same goes for throughput versus cost. So this should be the most attractive quadrant for us, wherein the cost has to be minimal and the throughput has to be maximum. So with minimum cost, it should give the fastest responses. So this is how it is, and it is an amazing way to be for you to be able to select among the models that are present on Azure AI Foundry. And these are the leaderboards by the scenario, that for question and answering, for maths, which is scoring the best, for reasoning, general knowledge, groundedness, and all of those things. So if you don't want to compare using the charts, you can compare it already from the leaderboards that are already present for you and the best performing models here. So this has been about the Azure AI Foundry. Let's get back. Yes, so this has been mostly about it. And once you click on the model, so for example, I want to, I'm impressed by DeepSeek. So what do I have to do? I have this. I can click on DeepSeek quickly. And here, like, I for me it is showing that create a subscription to deploy. But people with subscription, you'll directly get the option of deploying it. And once you deploy it, you will have then multiple options of exploring as to how is it performing for your use case. So once you deploy it, there's also an option, or there's also like a facility, or probably a feature. Feature is the right word. So probably, so once you deploy it, you'll have a feature of testing it in playground. Testing in playground means that you give it random prompts, you test it with random variations or random edge cases, and you will try and understand like how it works for you, or in best case scenario. So this is about Azure AI Foundries models, and let's go further to be able to understand what else it has for us to offer. Yes. So yeah, let me show you a little screenshot as to what I was saying. So basically, when you'll come here, you'll have this create project button. For me, it was showing create subscription. For you, it was create. For the people who have subscription, it will come as create project. And once it is done, this is how the page will come for you. So as I told you, on the third, towards the left, in the left panel, you'll see on the third you have playground. So in the playground, you will be able to test and see as to how is your model performing. Yeah, this is the more information about pricing and billing and how it is going to happen. So for pricing and billing, the two of the things whichever happens first. One is the credits that have been issued to you if you utilize it before 1 month's completion time. Whichever of the two happens first, you will be charged on the basis of your usage. After post that. So this is about it. So let me show you one very interesting thing that I learned, that is quick start. So using chat playground. So in that quick start, we have this chat playground option. So for the prerequisites, I already told you, you have to explore, like as I told you, you'll have to explore the models. You'll get model. Once you've selected a particular model, you'll get this option of deployment. So once you deploy it, you will be able to chat in the playground without your data. So this is the option. So herein you can test it, that how much do trailer walker high heel shoes cost. You can test for all of this information. So if you are susceptible as to how is your model going to work for a particular use case. So as you can see that we have attach button also and voice also. So if your niche is for voice recognition, or if your niche is for accent management or language translation, so you can try that particular model based on different languages, based on different accents, based on different languages, through voice prompts that you are giving, and you'll be able to understand that how is your model performing to be able to use it in your production ready enterprise code, or for the idea or the MVP you are creating. So for different models or different version, you can test that, and you can give it different prompts. There might be situations wherein you are embedding different links, you are embedding photos, or you are doing some sort of animated, you are creating some sort of animated images out of the images that you are giving it as a prompt. So all of these things you can test. You can see as to how fast is the chatbot performing for you, and then you can make a better decision as to which space or which model you want to go in, or whether if at all your idea is feasible in the industry that you are that with the state of the art technology, I should say. So yes, that is very interesting that I found and I thought of sharing with you guys. So I think one another very important thing that I feel in the AI space that we should always consider, that is about responsible AI for Azure AI Foundry. So what happens is, since we are not really sure, ultimately the thing that we are dealing with is machine and does not have any human intervention. It is very important that we make sure that it is answering responsibly, or the responses that are shared are ethical and responsible in some or the other way. So, Azure AI Foundry also gives you a place wherein you can manage, or basically a setting wherein you can manage how responsible you want your AI to be. So, if you want 100%, or you want the best possible or the safest possible answers because your product might be dealing with children, it's important. Basically, it's a button that you can toggle, it's a slider. Actually, it's a slider which you can take it to the maximum safest answer possible, and through that you will ensure that the product that you are creating is responsible in the answers at best of the knowledge, best of its knowledge, and does not give fuzzy answers, at least to children, and ethical to most, to the best of its knowledge. So this is how it looks like. So a lot of inputs, a lot of things have been given because it is showing that what responsible AI is, and how you can custom build it, and how you can make what all you can make around it. So a lot of information has been given around that. And whenever deployment and development is considered, it is not limited to this AI this UI. You can also take the models or Azure AI Foundry to your VS Code or any IDE that you are comfortable with, and you can build the models on top of the code that you have written for understanding or testing or basically model training. So all of this is present, and all of the documentation around it has been given, so that you can do uh, the best, and you can make the best out of the state of the art technology that is given to you. So this is the most interesting things that I found about Azure AI Foundry, and I hope all of this that I have helped you understand helps you in some or the other way to build the best possible solution. So that's all from me. I hope that you like the session. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this insightful session. And thanks to all the attendees and the viewers who joined us for this exciting season of Agent Session, where agents took the center stage. It's your time to build, discover, and shape the future together. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, ma'am, for your session.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this.